Hello everyone and welcome to another video here on the channel, and of course this is the reaction to what we just saw, the Olympic cross-country mountain bike race where the chosen son of GB, Tom Pidcock, the Omni star, the 21-year-old, took the win. As always, I'm not joined by Mr. Critical himself. I'm joined by Jack. And Jack, that was an absolutely phenomenal race. And how did Tom Pidcock win this race?
Well, he won it by pacing himself properly. He didn't go straight in for it at the first, second, or third lap. He just timed his pacing perfectly. And by the time it was time to go for it, he just went for it. And then he just kept making the gap larger between him and Matthias Flukiger, the most consistent rider in the mountain bike scene right now. He just showed that he's the perfect mountain biker, as well as being small and light as well. So it's just mixing a perfect blend to become a gold medal Olympian, basically.
Yeah, of course, the story going into this was Mathieu van der Poel dedicating most of his, getting out of the Tour de France in order to compete here. And he talked about this for a long time, that he wanted to try and get gold here in Tokyo, not Rio. But it didn't quite happen for Mathieu van der Poel. Like we saw with Tom Pidcock, unfortunately, on the first lap, he kind of overcooked it. It looked like he put too much weight on the front of the bike and just didn't quite negotiate that descent, that rocky descent. And do you think potentially he was just nervous with all this pressure being on him? And of course, he's been around that course countless of times, and he's one of the best bike handlers in the world. And yeah, do you think the pressure maybe just got to him?
I stake my life on it that he probably was nervous because, like you said, there was a lot of pressure on him here. You know, there's so much expectations around Mathieu being so talented as he is, being a great bike handler, like you say, and just a great, like, all around. He's great at cyclocross, he's great at road, and obviously he's great at mountain biking. And this is the Olympics. This is like one of the biggest events, well, the biggest sporting event in the world. You know, these countries come together, and it's just the pressure definitely must have got to him.
Yeah, but like, what a ride from Matthias Flukiger. We know he was the most consistent. Well, he's the World Cup leader right now. He's podiumed every single World Cup there's been and won the last two rounds. So great job from him. And yeah, it really was in that second position. He looked like he was almost catching Pidcock at one point, and then Pidcock just put the hammer down. But early on in the race, we actually did have Schurter in the front with Flukiger, and they were really controlling things really well. But Pidcock was lying there in like third, fourth place, and yeah, as you said, timed it well and then pounced right when it mattered.
Yeah, you know, in racing, it's just mind games. It's just trying to be the most deceitful little bugger there is there. If you can be deceitful, you can probably win something like this a lot more easier, you know. And that's what Tom Pidcock did. He just was calm, collective about this. Most people will probably be panicking, thinking, "Oh, can I win this? Can I win this?" He probably was thinking, "I can win this because I am going to win this." In his mind, I'm going to take my time here and then plan this like perfectly, because like you said, you had the two Swiss up front dominating this race at one point, but it was all about time, and he had plenty of time because it was by the third lap that was happening. It was plenty of laps to go, and it's not like cyclocross where the lap is over in less than 10 minutes. This went on for a while than cyclocross, so it is more. It's not like high intensity. It's just like say fartlek, you know. You go fast and slow, so it just kind of goes a bit slower than it would with cyclocross. So it is more about timing and just being calm in this race. You know, that's what he did.
Yeah, and we had a very interesting battle for third place as well. There was this chasing group. Well, we saw that Tom Pidcock was up the road. Flukiger was like 20 seconds behind. And then we had the chase group behind, which had a very interesting names in there. You had Anton Cooper of New Zealand. You had Victor Koretsky, who's done fairly well in the World Cups. Nino Schurter, who, of course, has finished on every single podium finished on every single podium since Beijing, taking bronze there, silver in London, and of course gold in Rio de Janeiro. But it just wasn't meant to be for the Swiss rider, and we saw when it came to the finish, the Spanish rider did him, unfortunately, and fourth place for the multi-world champion, and now no longer the Olympic champion anymore.
Yeah, He's 35 years old. He's probably catching on a little bit, but he's still, well skilled. Like he nearly fell off at one point, but he recovered from that, and that just shows his great skill. But it's just, as time goes on, it just gets harder and harder as time goes on, really. You can ask any other World Tour rider that's in their late 30s that they probably will agree. It just gets harder and harder.
But yeah, well, we were speaking about mechanicals with, well, not mechanicals, with mishaps. We had Mathieu van der Poel do that spectacular fall, but we certainly also had the Czech rider Sink. He looked very strong. He was leading that chase group at one point for that bronze, and then unfortunately he punctured, and that was a great shame for him. Could potentially have been a medal for him, who knows? But yeah, it wasn't meant to be. Yeah, but anyways, finally, looking back to the winner as well, Tom Pidcock, what's next for him? He's going to the Vuelta a España, and do you think potentially Pidcock could do something in the Vuelta? And then very shortly, we're going to have the cyclocross season starting up again.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this next Vuelta edition because the team that he's part of is quite frankly interesting. It's probably the lightest team I've ever seen in my life. He's got a lot of climbers on him. He could do something, definitely. If he's allowed to, because I'm assuming he's going to be a domestique for Carapaz, possibly, or maybe Egan Bernal, who are both in the team. But we'll have to wait and see for that one. Cyclocross, he did have a great season last season, so he's probably going to come back a lot more stronger. Now he's with Ineos Grenadiers, definitely, and he's going to probably try and get that World Championship win that he's hoping, because he's won the Junior World Championship and the under-23, so he's now looking for that elite World Championship win for cyclocross, definitely.
So anyways, that's it for this video. Yeah, Tom Pidcock joins his teammate, as you said, winning a gold medal like Carapaz did in the road race. So what a phenomenal feat it has been for Ineos Grenadiers if they were a nation in their own right, but of course they aren't. And Yorkshire as well, taking another gold medal at the Olympics, as they are really good at. But that's it for us. Make sure to comment down below what you thought of this mountain bike race, and of course subscribe, as we have plenty of things going on at this year's Olympics. And of course, thank you for watching and have a nice day.
Matane.